Good afternoon, everybody. Uneducated Economist here. Thought I'd talk a little bit about UBI today. I was reading an article talking about how Germany is going to be testing out UBI for a 3-year-long study where they're going to give 120 individuals $1,400 a month to do whatever they want with, whether they go to work, whether they stay home, play video games, whether they save all the money, whether they spend it all on drugs in the first 5 days. They get to do whatever they want with this $1,400 a month. And I just laugh every time I hear about one of these studies, because Germany's not the first one to do this. There's other places around the world, and including the United States, who have attempted to do this UBI thing, where they find just a broad cross section of people, I believe, from what I understand, to give a certain allotted amount of money to. So in Germany's case, it's $1,400 a month that they're going to give these people, and they want to see if it improves their life. And I can tell you right now, it's a no-brainer. It's going to improve their life. There's no need to do a study on that. That is obvious. Okay? Now, maybe the study is going to see what they do with the money, but that's just going to be, what it is that people do. Some people might save it. Some people might blow it all on drugs in the first 5 days. Other people might improve their standard of living by buying 2 new cars. Nobody knows what you're going to do with the money. If you find a cross-section of people to do it with, you just know that, it's going to improve their life. I mean, it's obvious. Now, what I find funny about this study is that in every study I've ever read about UBI is that they always tested in an environment that is not going to exist if everybody was to acquire UBI. See, now I think back to the time when my first child was born. It was like 13 years ago or something. And we were really, really broke at the time. And my wife was on WIC, which, if you're not familiar with WIC, it's Women, Infant, and Children Nutrition kind of, supplement. Like, it's kind of like EBT, but it's only for women who have young kids. And you don't get to buy whatever you want. You have a selected amount of products that you can buy. Cereal, milk, just different things that typical kids and women would eat. I think there was fruit on there, like fruit juice, just different things like that. But one of them that's on there is a formula for babies, a baby formula. Or actually, there's 2 different brands. And I remember being at the store looking at these 2 different brands going, holy moly, thank goodness we are on this WIC thing. Those things are expensive. I was like, man, it's like, I forget at the time they were, I just remember, I'm just going to pull a number, but it was something like $22 for this container of formula. I'm like, my gosh. I can imagine being like, a young couple broke like we were, and having to pay for this. It would be like, that would be a lot of money, And then you go down and you look at the generic brand and it's like half the price, maybe even less than half the price. And I'm thinking, that stuff would not cost that much if it wasn't for WIC. See, because you can only buy those 2 brands with it, and everybody is on it. Everybody, who's buying formula. I mean, it's not like everybody in, my town is buying baby formula. It's only that little segment of people. And that little segment of people all have the WIC. I mean, it's like everybody. Okay, I'm sure there's some people who don't, but it's like the majority. And the majority of people who are buying that particular formula are buying it with this WIC program. So that thing could be $100 as long as WIC was paying for it. It wouldn't matter. But now, if you only gave 120 people in this town access to that WIC program to buy that particular formula, I guarantee you that formula would not cost that much. If all the people out there who didn't have access to WIC had to buy it because only 120 people were able to, I assure you that price of that formula would not be that high. So that's what I'm talking about when it comes to UBI and all this testing that's taking place out there. If you test it in an environment where nobody's getting $1,400 a month, just you, you're going to be you're going to be in the money. You're going to be like party time. But if you and everybody else around you have $1,400 a month, it's going to look awesome for a while. But eventually what's going to end up happening is that all that stuff is going to end up like that baby formula, and it's all going to be very expensive. And you're going to find that you have to go to work in order to make ends meet because $1,400 is no longer enough. And in fact, now what used to cost you $1,400 now costs you $2,800. You're back to where you were. You still have to earn the money. See, the economy is built off of production and savings. It's not imaginary. You can't just imaginary like here's a bunch of money, and even though nobody, produced anything or you didn't provide any service or anything like that, but you get to go out there and buy production and services even though you're not participating in it, that cycle is not feasible. It's not an everlasting thing. Somebody has to produce something. Something has to be made in order for you to purchase it. And if everybody is on UBI in a successful way that they are, conceptualizing, then nobody would have to work. But yet you would have products to buy. How? It doesn't work that way. You have to be able to produce something. Somebody has to be able to invent and produce and market and sell. Yeah, I know AI is coming. I know robotics is coming and stuff like that. But, all the beautiful pictures that a robot can build, it's still not as cool as a hand-painted one from a human. That's something that a robot can never do. They may be able to do it better than a human ever could, but it still won't be as cool as a human does it. Anyway, I guess I'll leave it at that. There's an article down in the description for you guys. Uneducated Economist, you let me know.